Guys.
Yeah. And finally, we have the one and only Shane Cahill, our managing partner at SwissBorg Ventures, and the rock star of the company, basically. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Very kind introduction. So first of all, this evening, thank you all very much for coming out on a Monday, and it's the holiday season. We really appreciate you being here and giving us your time and your attention. This evening, in typical SwissBorg fashion, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to have a conversation with Anthony, and we're going to go back, way, way back. And we're going to know why and how we do things at SwissBorg, and more importantly, where we're going and the vision that we have. It's awesome to see so many Borgers in the room, and great to see some of the people who have already become partners. You're so welcome, and for those that aren't, well, we'd like to bring you along for the journey. I think what we would like to do as well, during the conversation that we're going to have, is that if anyone has any questions or we can elaborate further, just stick up your hand and let's actually have a conversation together. I think it's really nice for everybody to be involved, and it's really how our culture kind of is. I'm really glad that all the hoodies have gone out, so however you're going to get home tonight, whether you're in a train or an Uber, if you're wearing our hoodie, do us a favor, take a picture and tweet us. That would make us all really, really happy. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Anthony. Unfortunately, Cyrus couldn't make it this evening, but having Anthony in town is awesome, because his vision and what he does on the strategy side at SwissBorg is so important for how we move forward. I think before we kind of kick off and we start a conversation, for the people in the room who don't use the SwissBorg app, in a kind of 60-second summary, for those of you who don't know, we are an app, we are a platform, but more importantly, we're an ecosystem. And our mission is to democratize wealth management in a simple, secure, and safe way, all on an app which can be downloaded to your phone. We're so fortunate that we've been now established for 5 years. It was our birthday only just a short time ago, so I think anybody that's lasted 5 years in crypto needs a big round of applause. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 5 years.
To you guys.
We've come from very humble beginnings, and we're going to maybe talk a little bit about that at the start. We were one of the largest ICOs back in 2017-18 and raised $52 million. But since then, we've really continued to grow and ship products. At SwissBorg right now, we're very proud to say that we have over 700,000 active users of the app. We employ over 200 people, and some of our lovely people are here today helping out. I think really for our community members, it's been really important to make sure that all our clients' funds, our community funds, are segregated. For those who you don't know, we're integrated with Fireblocks, which are the best in the business. We, of course, have the ability to fiat currency over 16 different fiat currencies, and now we've just been integrated with checkout.com, so you can actually charge up your app with your debit card. And of course, regulation is really at the heart of our business, because Anthony and a lot of the C-suite investors come from a traditional finance background. So we have a list of regulatory factors within our suite, and I think that's really, really important. I think also one of the really interesting things that we're about to embark on is always look who's building in a bear market, and I think we've continued to build in the bear market and ship products. And actually, we are one of the only companies, projects that are currently out there raising money at this time. So fortune favors the brave, no doubt. And I think we're probably going to talk about that Series A maybe at the end. What is interesting, just to put some numbers on it just before I wrap up and we get going, I think since our initial community raise, we've raised approximately $6.5 million in the last 3 or 4 days, which is absolutely amazing. Coupled with the fact that we've raised approximately $3.54 million for institutions. So as it stands today, in approximately the last few days, we've raised $10 million. And in a market like this, I think it's a massive feat that we tend to do things differently. So we're very, very proud about that. So, shall we kick this off, Anthony?
Let's go.
So, I think mainly what we kind of really wanted to discuss, and maybe we need to kind of go back, and let's kind of start off with How did SwissBorg come about? When you sat down with Cyrus, your co-founder, and you thought about what you wanted to do, how did you initially come up with the idea for SwissBorg? And kind of take me back to kind of what you were thinking back then. So if I can cast your memory back, we'd love to have that.
That's a very good question. So both myself and Cyrus, we come from a very traditional background. I was a quantitative analyst and then a junior portfolio manager for quantitative funds in Paris, London. And Cyrus was working for private banks and hedge funds. And I think both of us, we loved what finance is, what finance allow us to do as as human. Because to me, it's still to this day the greatest collaboration tools that we have. I can give my money to people that have knowledge that I don't have to build a future I look forward to, or I envision, or I want to manifest. And I don't have this power, but because of the money, I can help and I can be part of this movement. And that's beauty. But it's true that as well, finance, as we know it traditionally, has maybe diluted this message, this original message, and this original intent, and has turned its value into something that is very greedy most of the time. And I think with time, of course, you start, you're youngster, you're out of the university, so you chase label, you chase position, you are chasing status. And that's normal because you're young, but as you progress into your years, you get to know yourself better. And I think the both of us, we felt great disconnection with what finance was standing for, and the beauty of the intrinsic message of finance. So when we discovered crypto, it was like, wow, it's true alternative, because when you look at the traditional fintech space, it's you're supposed to disrupt the banking world, but you need banks to operate so much that it's impossible. But blockchain, by design, by its transaction system, its settlement system, its custody system in itself, was a true solution to really disrupt a world that needs disruption. We all needs to be challenged. And I think at the end of the day, I think the difference, so we had this idea, but most of the time we overlooked that ideas. I think the execution and the strength in the execution come from your frustration. We had this story about, what was your name? Sorry, I forget your name.
Thor.
Thor telling us, I was scammed. And because my ego was hurt in a nutshell, right? Then it pushed me to know more about the entire industry. So when it gets personal, I think then you find the drive to make it a success. And I think the major difference between myself and Cyrus, because back then, there was many people trying to raise money with ICO, many people, especially in Switzerland, because we come from there, trying to make their own project, but we have the drive, because for us it was more than a business, it was personal. And when I look at all of you, such a diverse crowd, and we'll never have this chance to see that in finance, because you all have, I believe, or you're seeking for it, personal reason why you're here. And that's the most important asset that you guys have. And that's the beauty of crypto.
And so how challenging was it to raise the startup capital for the business? And what was the typical type of pushbacks that you would have got at the time, especially coming from Switzerland, which is traditional and also private banking? What did they think of the young crypto people that were coming up, and how did you get viewed back then?
Yeah, I mean, you can see even these days, there is so much misinformation, and the perception of the industry is not that good. It's getting better, but it's not that good. So as you can imagine, 5 years ago, crypto was strongly associated with Bitcoin and all the narrative, traditional narrative, no regulation, we don't really understand what it is. So, I mean, people were defensive. But the beauty as well is you had an alternative to traditional capital market with ICOs. And there was a lot of scam in ICOs, that's part of the deal. But what I like so much about ICO is, as you mentioned, if you invest in an ICO and you lose your money because you get scammed, you are going to learn something. While in the traditional system, there is so much layers that you're going to give your money to a financial advisor, that is going to give to a portfolio manager, that is going to give to, someone that you don't even know about. So at the end of the day, if you lose money, you are going to blame the financial advisor, but you're never going to learn something for yourself. So I think that was the beauty back then. And again, the Ethereum Foundation decided to, when the Ethereum Foundation was created, they decided not to settle the foundation in the US because of what happened with Bitcoin. When you set up a foundation in the US, you can be requalified into a company, LLC. So when Ethereum decided to launch the project, they said we can't be in the US. So they went to different countries and they end up in Switzerland because that's the strongest setup you can find for open source project and foundation. So there was a very strong community back then. And the level of information that you guys have today, is so it's so diverse. Back then, you have to go to this kind of meetings and meet up to meet people. And and we went to, so we started the project, the idea at the beginning of March 2017, and we end up at the end of December, beginning of January to raise 50 million. So it was a beautiful time, yeah. Very beautiful.
And I've never asked you, who actually came up with the name and why SwissBorg?
Very, very interesting question. So Cyrus came up with the name. I know that many, to be honest, I didn't like it initially. Whoa, what is that?
Too late now.
But I mean, Cyrus really loved it. And initially it comes from the fact that we believe human can, in the future, human ability will be enhanced by technology. So there is this Swiss and cyborg element that come for SwissBorg. Yeah.
And how has the business model changed from your initial white paper over those years? Because the market has changed, and we've seen lots of different trends emerge, and we've obviously seen regulation. We've also seen institutional capital. I suppose with SwissBorg, we're a B2C play. We're looking after the retail focus. So from the initial days over those years, how has the strategy, which you're very much driving, how has that kind of changed? And I'd like to get a kind of feel on that.
Yeah, it hasn't changed that much. If you look at the white paper that we write in 2017, it hasn't changed that much. And actually, when you look at the people that are truly building for the space, Ave, all these guys, what they are doing now is what they've been talking about multiple years ago. So the trends themselves, they don't change too much. I think the next wave is about gaming and social network in crypto. And it's something that has been discussed since years. When you're on the private circle, it's just the technology is not mature enough. There is not necessarily the adoption. Now we see blockchain infrastructures such as Matic that provide alternative solution to Ethereum that sometimes can be expensive, even though the recent progress would change that. So you need to wait as well for the backbone of crypto to build the necessary infrastructure that you can just do what you intend to do. But for us, the dream was always to give a very simple access to people without compromising on the quality. Because what you do see usually in traditional finance is, on one hand, you have very sophisticated platforms that are very difficult to use, that have order books and all these things. Or you have completely the opposite, where we simplify so much the UX, but then it comes at the expense of the quality of the services. And for us, it was like, no, we don't want to do that. I think there is a chance that we can merge the two, give access back to people, right? The access to crypto, help them to connect better with their investment, give them the time as well on what does matter. I don't think it's we released recently Thematic, which was something that we write in the white paper 5 years ago. It gives you the 13 best crypto. So when you buy the Thematic, basically you own already 44% of the entire crypto market. That you can focus on things that matters, which is experiencing with the technology. Go out there, download a wallet, try to do your research, that you don't have to spend too much time trading and doing all this stuff, because it doesn't matter. The technology is as well needs you to be adopted and somehow cross the moment where you just come for greed. I think we all come for greed at the beginning, and it's fine. The first Bitcoin I purchased, to be honest, was just to make money. But then it opened up a window to what it is, what are the opportunities, and I find my way within it. And as a result, SwissBorg is one piece of the spectrum of opportunity that was open just because I came for the money.
I came for the revolution, but I stayed for the evolution. That's what I did.
Yeah, I say I came for the money, but I stay for the philosophy.
Well, you can't go anywhere now. Why did you decide initially to focus on retail and also to have an app-based product rather than so many similar exchanges which we're looking at kind of institutional and desktop? Because I suppose one of the core of our businesses, and certainly what I hear from a lot of our users, is that it's really simple, right? You know, to get through to our onboarding, I think we're running times less than 8 minutes to get onboarded if you've got all your correct details from AML and KYC. But ultimately, when you come onto an app, it's quite easy to understand. It's almost like a Robinhood or a Revolut, right? It's easy to understand. I don't look at, 10,000 different markets with all different exchanges. I'm looking at a very select, curated list of tokens which I may want to buy. And then subsequently, we're going to talk about some of the other products that we offer. But I'm interested to know why you decided to focus on the retail via an app, because there's loads of different ways you could have gone from a strategy point.
Look, I believe many people are doing crypto because it's good business. You make a lot of money, fees, it's hot. Like where IMF, which is the French regulatory stuff in France, they released today a survey that shows that actually people buy more crypto than buy any other assets. And crypto is only here since, it's only accessible since 5 years maximum. Even back then, it was very hard to buy crypto. So it shows that people are naturally going to crypto and are not naturally going to stocks or bonds or all these traditional financial things. Why? Because I think crypto are more than investment, and they are. They're much more than investment. But the reality is, most of the business that give you access to crypto, actually, they don't really trust crypto. They do it because they believe it's a good business to do. They have other shareholders with different agenda. And I think that's something that we are going to discuss today that lead us as well to the Series A and what we do offer on Launchpad. So for SwissBorg, it was not only building the technology and the service that is a good business, but as well doing that in a fashion, in a way that respect the initial intent of crypto. Crypto are products that are built by people for people, right? So if you look at this angle from an investment angle, it's unique. There is no other product that is not engineered into a bank or, a hedge fund or an investment firm, and that this then offered to you. Crypto are the only product that you can invest that actually is built by people directly for people. And there is beauty in it because not only we see government collapsing, but in the recent FTX story, everyone will blame the CEO, SBF, but it's not only the failure of one guy, it's the entire failure of an ecosystem that doesn't work, that is composed of VC, investment firm, all the big guys. They fail collectively. They send this message that, the structure is very strong because they invest, they are the serious guy. And here we go again. So it was very important for us as well to say, crypto exists to give back the power to people because we need it. It's not only about investment, it's about the transition of nations that are going through the phase of extreme digitalization and giving back power. Like, we will leave digital states, right? So, and there is a collapse of our entire system at different level. So not only we need to build a great product that will, make a good business, but as well we need to respect the philosophy, the reason why we came in the first place. So that's why for us it was not even a question to say, should we do B2B or B2C? And arguably B2C, or like we say, B4C, business for community, is the most difficult business you can think of. But there is beauty in it. And we came from the beauty, and we're still here.
That's awesome. And we've had quite a year. I mean, SwissBorg has had quite a year, but actually all of our community members and the crypto market as a whole has had quite a year. Starting off with lofty highs on price action, all the way to rolling into what happened with Celsius and Terra Luna and 3 Hours Capital, and then of course rolling on to more recent events at FTX. I mean, when you look at 2022 as a year, And also, I know yourself and the DeFi team, certainly at the start of the year, a lot of our community members were chasing yield. And I think that was one of the disciplines that we had at SwissBorg, that if you don't understand where the yield is coming from, you actually are the yield. And I know that from a risk perspective, we were very careful with counterparty risk, and we couldn't understand the risk models of some pools that were offering 20% plus, and subsequently, due to your own direction and your team's direction, we managed to stay away from them. But I'd love to know kind of, yeah, there you go, because my man, he's back.
Thank you, thank you.
And that was quite difficult because some of people were saying, hey, I can get a better yield somewhere else. And we were disciplined, and we were like, we don't understand that. We don't understand the counterparty. We've done our DD, and we can't work out how they're getting the yield. So we're not going to offer that out. So I suppose first part of the question is, how would you summarize 2022? And maybe you just want to speak a little bit about how we didn't go chasing yield, and we managed to keep a lot of our community members safe during that period.
Okay. On the first question, I think, yeah, from an investor's perspective, you have to understand when you invest in yourself in the first place. So you should expect to lose money because you need to learn. We all need to learn. I've been doing investments since almost 12 years now, and still this year, I learned a lot. So it's part of the journey, and that's why, we say in life sometimes enjoy the journey, not only the destination. I think it's true as well for crypto, because or investment in general. So you have to understand that you have to see what you will learn along the way about yourself, about your skills, and how you are going to get closer to your end goal, which is the destination. So I would say 2022 was an expensive lesson for all of us, very expensive. I think we could have done better, but it was very expensive. But I hope at least we'll learn something. And I know some of you will learn and some won't, and it's fine, because we need to repeat, as human, I do the same, I'm sure you do the same. We need to go through different phases to learn something. It's true for investment, relationship, and anything. So I think it was just natural consequence, and we needed to learn something, and hopefully, we learn something. Part of what we learn as well is, and it's the most difficult message, and that's part of the biggest, let's say, learnings that we want to give to the community. The reason why we went so high and so down, it's as well because of the market structure. So when you look at Celsius, when you look at FTX, when you look at, Luna, because, Luna is a big part of the fucked up, it's because you had exactly what happened in traditional finance. And we fail massively that way because we give our trust, our money. And when I say money, it's not only investment, it's as well when you trade with these guys, you're giving them power by giving them revenue, but trust. And the massive fucked up was when you don't understand the shareholders, when you don't understand who is ruling the company, you don't understand their end game. You have no ability to understand what they stand for and what is their end game, right? And most of these guys were, a club, an elite club of few guys wanting to make the most money from you guys, right? And from us. I lose money a little bit as well. So I think, it's the biggest lesson that we need to understand as people. We need to ask ourselves, okay, when I consume with this guy, what's the agenda? What they stand for, why they exist for? And most of the time they will exist for shareholders that do not care about the user. They do not care about the clients. Why? Because they want extreme growth. So in the case of Celsius, Luna, and etc., we knew for fact, we have message in Slack that, we were building a sustainable and unhealthy financial system, but it was something that was required by the shareholders. They would say, yeah, I'm ready to back you up for 32 billion, but I want to see this growth. So what the guy do in return? They go and they say, yes, this guy doesn't understand nothing about investment. Let's feed them with dreams, right? And as a result, you end up in a situation where you take all the risk because you deposit your money is used to invest into very high risk investment, and you will get nothing Because you're not shareholders, you invest in very poorly engineered product that give you at best 8% a year, while this guy cash home if they're successful 10x, 20x, 30x, and if actually they fail, which just happen, you take all the downside. And this is the result of being part and helping companies where shareholders are misaligned with the interest of the user. And for us, and again, the DAO, the cryptocurrency, all this world fight against the traditional world. But in 2022, we went back to the traditional world. And I think to us, that's the biggest message we have to carry. We have a Serie A right now, where we welcome for the first time, well, we are the only crypto exchange that I know that never welcome institutional investor or external investor to this cap table. And I think that's the reason why we're still here today. Because when we had to take a very difficult decision not to play the unhealthy game, and actually people were sending me message, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you should offer 10% on yield and all these things, you don't know your job that well. I couldn't feel comfortable in my shoes because I had the power to decide and say, it's fine. You need time, we all need time, and we'll see at the end what's going to happen. But it's heavily linked to the fact that the only people that possess shares and decide for the company are the people that work every day for the company. They sweat, they put their heart, they everything that they have in the company. So for us, when we decided to do the Serie A, right, and I think we are going to discuss about it, not only there is an investment opportunity in itself, but the message as well is to say to sustain this adventure and to do that in a way that is truly aligned with who we are, but it is as well a true necessity for the ecosystem. We need to do that with the community because you guys care as the shareholders, but you care as users. You care as people being part of crypto. While the traditional shareholders, they don't even care. Maybe they don't even never use a wallet or don't have any other assets. So they don't see the full picture. They're just going to push a startup to do extreme growth, and it's very unhealthy.
Yeah, I think we were quite lucky in that when you look at the shareholder structure of SwissBorg currently, it was extremely clean shareholder structure, and it was yourself and Cyrus and a few of the other partners. Also, full disclosure, we had no exposure to Terra, Luna, 3 Hours Capital, Celsius, or FTX, which was wonderful. And we do know a lot of other counterparties, whether they be institutional or whether they be retail, that did, and it was a sorry fact. But from our perspective, we had no counterparty risk, zero. So our risk and our counterparty due diligence really did help us on that. So I suppose it's been a challenging year, but I put a quote out today, watch people who are building in a bear market. And I remember several years ago being in Ibiza with Brock Pierce, and he went, well, we talked of a lot of stuff. Being in Ibiza with Brock Pierce for a weekend can get a bit crazy. But I remember him always saying, watch the people who build in bear markets. And I think this was the bear market of 2018. Memory's a bit hazy. But today I put that out, and I really think that when we started to see so many things break down with market structure, I remember being on a call with you and Cyrus, and we were like, well, what are we going to do? And we were like, we're going to build. So actually this year has been a year of building for us, and it really came into effect in the fourth quarter because all the products that we had started to build actually started getting shipped. So maybe you want to talk, I suppose, first of all, maybe Tematics, and talk a little bit about that as a product and what it offers, and just how you're conceptually looking at that, and then also why we think it's important and what we're going to do in the future on that. And there was a gentleman who asked about Tematics, so I'm picking up on your question.
Yeah, and I'd be very happy to collect your question. But coming back to the mission of SwissBorg, beside what we say is the goal is to build a platform where basically you can really build your wealth. And for us, the vision is to build these 7 layers. So these 7 layers basically not only give you access to, I think, what does exist in the full spectrum of crypto, they give you access to whatever exists in the traditional market or the crypto market, but they give you as well the ability to progress in the journey of crypto. Because if there is something that we notice very well, it's like a game, right? The first time I play games, most probably was Tetris, right? So not the most Tetris.
You didn't play Pac-Man?
No, I'm not that old, man. and then you want more, right? You have this little. I remember Game Boy, and then I went to Nintendo and PlayStation, and then I gave up. But yeah, so basically we do see that as well. Like there is an appetite as you progress into your journey. You want to experience more, and for us, experience is empowerment, and empowerment is key to the success of our community. We want the people to be empowered. So our mission is to build these 7 layers that exist. The layer 1 is to give you access. Basically, it's the basic bridge between what we call the off-chain world and the on-chain world, so that you can deposit your traditional money with us in a purely secure way. Again, as you mentioned at the beginning, we are regulated in different countries, and we will do it so. I think there is too many companies that believe regulation is an obstacle to innovation, but it's not. And I think SwissBorgs stand for that. What you've noticed in the past 2 years is most of the platform actually that offer an earn program either collapse or had trouble with regulators. We built our own program, and we did that in a way where regulator challenged us, and we managed to do it in the right way. And I think it's key of the success as well. We have to work with all the constraints in your space, and you have to bring creativity on the table, and you have to push your team to be creative enough to find solutions. Innovation can be paired with regulation if you do it the right way. The smart engine is basically we help the user to go over the very complex order book. When you connect to Binance or other platforms, sometimes it's very hard to use. So what we do is we connect to all these different exchanges, and we source the liquidity for you. So it's very powerful. We have 60 crypto, less than 60 crypto in the app, but we are the platform with the most pair, so the most combination that can be done in the entire world. And that is thanks for the smart engine. Then we have the earn layers that give you passive income. I'm sure there is some Ethereum fanatic. I'm one of them, and it's, then I will hold my Ethereum forever. And it's good that I can participate without too much hustle to the validation of the Ethereum blockchain and earn a passive income on it. Then we have thematics. So thematics start to play a very important role into our mission, because until this layer, and earn is already a first layer that helps to get closer to the wealth management journey where I invest and then I receive something. Thematic are really this way. I think we live in a world that overpriced what trading is. Most of the trader lose money. You are going to lose money. But this illusion of control, this illusion of instant gain is going to drive fees, is going to drive transaction, and that's why people want you to believe that trading is the key. Personally, after all this year of investment, key is discipline, and key is financial planning. So I use this example with the team that they can better understand. If tomorrow I want to lose weight, because it's after Christmas, I want to look good again, I have 2 options. Either I can go for a cut weight loss program, such as Weight Watchers, for example, and they are going to sell me the magic recipe, or I can decide to follow discipline, maybe to do more exercise every day, maybe to cut on, sugar, or these type of things. One is going to create a very instant effect that is not going to be long-lasting, and the other is going to create sustainable result, and that's financial planning. The other is trading. So for that, we need to build you tools as well that facilitate this work. And thematic are a key part of this journey. Thematic give you a direct access between a vision. We can all have a vision. I believe in a world where gaming or metaverse is going to be all over the place. All around the place. Or I believe in a world where we don't like this planet anymore and we travel to Mars. Or we like this planet very much and we don't want to travel to any other planet, and I want to help. I want to invest with the people that believe the same. Thematic are the fastest way to transform a conviction into an investment decision. And for us, that's key. Because, again, ultimately, as investor, we manifest a future together. What we invest in today is going to drive what the future is going to be about. And thematic are your fastest way. Then we have the token launchpad. Again, it's a launchpad like no others. When you look, just to give you some figures, when you look at the amount of deal that has been made in the past year, only looking at the VC investment into blockchain and Web3 project, there is 30 billion that has been invested only this year. 30 billion. When you look at the token launchpad, so one of them is very famous, is DAO Maker, it's only 40 million. So it's such a very small piece of the cake. So the token launchpad we've built is not only for token, because most of the money is most of the time in equity or more traditional investment. It's a launchpad that span is ability across different asset classes, and it will give you the ability to invest in a very large spectrum of projects, and that's why we call that the multi-asset launchpad. And when we sit down with the team and we say, oh, we have this vision where we truly need to give back the power to people to invest in the best deal, but not only that, but we need to, as a community, we need to come together very strong in order to offer people that lead project an alternative to VC. Because most of the people that invest, taking into account that they most of the time to have the money that is necessary for the project, they need to raise 5 or 10 million. They have no other option to go to VC, right? But as a community, we stand very strong and we say there is an existing alternative that will allow you to raise 5 to 10 million. But not only that, you will do that with people that actually will become your user, that will become your strongest asset. Then we have a very strong value proposition, and together we can change the rules of the game and the space. And for us, that's the intent of the Launchpad, is not only to give you at the individual level a good investment opportunity, but as well at the collective level. This is a necessity because we need to have a counterpower. Otherwise, what we leave this year is going to repeat again and again and again and again, because we are in a very polarized world, and figures speak for themselves. And then we have the tokenization. We have to play an important role here, and the smart mandate.
Out of everything that you've mentioned there with regards to the layers, how I started this question was, it's been a year of building and shipping, and actually layer 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 have already been built. Sure, we can make them better, and we will, and that's going to be some of the use of proceeds with regards to the Series A, but this is not conceptual. This is actually what we've delivered on. And the Launchpad is a really interesting one, because we've decided that with the Launchpad, the first deal that we were going to do was ours. So that's a pretty interesting concept to not only come up with it, but then we're going to drink our own Kool-Aid. So maybe you just want to talk a little bit about the Launchpad and how in the future we'll see that being a real key part. And I think really, when you look at all these layers, we're very different from a lot of the exchanges out there. Well, truly, we're not an exchange. We're almost an order aggregator. But it's about crypto wealth management. It's about growing your wealth within crypto. And so the product offering that we continue to deliver on is all about that. It is about managing your crypto wealth. Something as easy as the Smart Engine, well, that just routes the best price. Something as interesting as Earn, well, that allows you to pick your risk and reward depending on what you want to take. Something like thematics, or as I like to say, it's a bundle or a traditional index. It allows you to buy vertical sectors of which you believe in. So it's all about growing your crypto wealth and having products and services there to give to our community. But maybe we'll talk a little bit about the Launchpad and why we decided that was going to be our offering to launch our Series A on. And maybe you want to talk a little bit about that.
It's a very good question. I'm very, as well, happy to collect any question that you have. I think, we came here on the first place to connect with you guys, and that would be very cool to have your questions. But coming back to the Series A, again, as I said in the first place, we are the only shareholder, are the people that are working for the company. So usually when you are at the stage of the development we are, where we still exist, we made 150 million revenue. We have a team, operational team. We have a very mature product. We have 700,000 users, 1 million registered users. So we are a very scarce deal. So most of the time you'll go to VC and you say, okay, let's sit down and see how much money you can invest in the company. But we didn't feel it was right. We felt what we want to create, again, is a counterpower. We believe together with the community, we can create something that is an alternative to the traditional options, which is going with VCs. And what a better deal, what a better stories that do that together with the people that trust us since the very, very early days. And the people that have grown as well with SwissBorg. I think there is many people that say, SwissBorg was my first app that helped me as a stepping stone, right, to this world. And to us, it's a very beautiful story to make. So we started with these crazy ideas and to say there is no better use case that will give the symbol of what we want to achieve than doing that with our own equity. And why now? Because so many people are asking, why now? Right? It's such a bear market. You guys are crazy. I think why now? Because we do see there is no better opportunity than now to become the leader in Europe. And we believe very honestly that we are the best positions. And not only because of the product we have, the strength of the team. You know, most of the people underestimate how important it is to have a very strong team, but as well, people at the top of the company that don't know themselves very well and look in the same direction. And I can assure you, everyone is looking in the same direction. We sometimes discuss different paths, but we all look in the same direction. It's very unique. So if we do that now together and we raise the money together, we're so confident that we have the trust, we have the track record. It's been 6 years that we've been doing that. You have to understand that FTX only existed for 3 years or something, right? And as a company, you can't fail the test of time and market cycle. I think it's a little bit like a couple, right? It's
absolutely, absolutely.
You have to know the up and the down to make sure your relationship is strong. And we have the same with SwissBorgs. So that's why we're so confident to say it's time for us. You know, we're still a very small ecosystem, but we have managed to build a very strong and loyal community. When you look at the numbers, we have the love, we have the sweat, we have the knowledge, and we have the track record, and we want to make it real. We want to be the first crypto platform in Europe, not only because it's a good business for the people that invest, but because it's a necessity as well to have an ecosystem that you can trust, that is honest, and is going to help 1 million people to get access to this crypto world. Maybe for the greed at the beginning, but it will help them to reconnect with the true purpose, because that's what we need. We need people that are here, that come for the greed, but stay for something else.
Well, you know, you mentioned opportunity, and I think when you look at what's transpired in 2022, obviously the price action, right? And the price action has been driven down. But actually, that's the most boring part of the story. And it's not the metrics that you should value the market. You should be looking at what's actually being built and what problems are being solved. And there's a dislocation between actually what's happening in the market with regards to the technology development versus the price action. And so being an investor for over 22 years in traditional finance and then VC, that to me becomes a margin of opportunity. And so having the ability to spot that margin of opportunity, if you've done the work, right? If you've taken the time, if you have conviction on the market, then it's only a matter of time before you get proven right. And so obviously, difficult markets for everybody. Everyone takes their own risk and reward. But for me, I'm looking at the tech stack and the development going like this, and I'm looking at the price action going down. It's the exact same thing that happened with the internet, right? And then there was a flipping of that. And so you really have to do the work, have conviction. And if you do, then nothing's changed apart from the price. In fact, when you look on average, token prices are down, protocol prices are down 70%. That to me is a discount. That to me is a sale. I'm going to love buying that. Yes, sir. Question. Would you like to use my mic, or do you want to shut out?
Hello, everyone. I'm very surprised to see so many mature people in the room. I was expecting to see, youngsters Euroing their life economies on, Doge and Shiba. So it was a really big surprise for me. So you've been talking about companies and protocols that have been building. Outside SwissBorg, what do you think are the biggest developments out there? What's really happening for the people who are not inside the industry?
Yeah, that's a very good question. There is very positive pointers into the industry. First of all, you see all the big guys from the Web 2, Facebook, all these big guys coming in. And the blockchain that has been facilitating all this work is Matic. So I think they have been building very strong, they have very strong business development teams. Personally, if your question is about what's going to be the next hot topic into crypto, it could be only personal, but I believe gaming and social network is going to be very big. Why? Because for the first time, they give a use case for people to create wallets, which is like the internet, which is accounts, without having a feel for the technology. And that's strongly needed to have use cases that help people to onboard beside the grid. I think gaming and social network are going to support this adoption very much in the next cycle. And I think the other trend that we look at very carefully as well is real-world assets into DeFi. And when we look at the Series A, one of the questions is how you guys. So it's a real-world asset. It's equity put on chain. How you guys are going to give liquidity? I think DeFi is providing a very strong candidate to provide that, which no one else has managed to do until now. So all these three things are my personal conviction. What's yours?
Well, it's interesting, just what you've said, because I look at the venture side of stuff, and actually venture capital raising for traditional blockchain and Web3 has never been higher. So when looking at a lot of the big venture funds, they're long capital. And I suppose they're looking to deploy, and actually what you've seen with a lot of traditional money managers like your Fidelities, your BlackRocks, your A16Zs, for whatever you say, their capital inflows into the space. Actually, they're currently looking right now at all distressed assets and are in there accumulating a number. So that's interesting to me, because you should always follow the money or follow the crypto in this sense. And what I see is that a lot of traditional type money managers are now starting to leg into this trade. So that always kind of lets me know from a timing perspective, because timing is actually crucial in any type of market investment. If you're too early, it's like being wrong. But certainly when I start to see real capital formation coming in, I think that's really important. And by the way, he was wearing an SwissBorg hat. Did you know that? He was looking to see what was the next deal. He's wearing it on his head.
Very proud, man.
Yes, very proud. Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. So I suppose maybe we'll just kind of give a summary of the Series A, and let's just talk a little bit about that. That might be kind of a nice way, and then we'll go to question and answers, and then I think after our little Q&A, I believe there's a food van outside. Okay, so we've got some food and we've got some more beers, but yeah, maybe you want to talk about the Series A and think of any type of questions you'd like to ask, and we can put it back over to the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, so Series A, so we started, concretely speaking.
And by the way, it's a Series A, but actually when you look at where we are from a company standpoint, 5 years in the business, over 700,000 active users. Last year was our best year of revenue. We did something in the region of about $78 million or higher. And actually, we've got traction, we've got product market fit, we've got the tech stack, we've got the team, and we've got the vision. So it's a Series A because we've never taken any external capital until now. And that was one of the things that Anthony was talking about, that when we were making decisions, it was really only a very small group of people at SwissBorgs that were driving that decision. And we didn't have any large investor who was chasing alpha, so that we had to appease that investor. Everything that we've done has been at a board level, and we've always done the right thing, because doing the right thing is always the right thing. So I suppose now we're opening up a Series A, but as Anthony said earlier on, we didn't just want to have all institutional money in there driving the agenda. That was one of the reasons why we opened it up to the community. And in our first hour of raising, I think we did about $1.2 million in the first hour. We're somewhere in the region of over 6 million right now. And actually, when you look at the demographic of how many of our community members have invested in that, I think it's somewhere in the region of 6,000-7,000. So it's a real honor to have so many people in there. So maybe I'll pass it over to you and you can summarize some of the facts.
Yeah, the most beautiful achievement is we're looking for 24 million, but there is already 7,000 people that are involved. And we expect that we are going to end up between 25 and 30,000 people. So it's really beautiful because there is no one else in the space that doing so. And by becoming shareholders, you open yourself as well to a new knowledge. And that's part of what we want to create, is investment journey. We have these 7 layers that you can experience yourself. And to me, if you invest, you can invest because you have a conviction, but you can invest as well. It is the best educational journey you can find of. You know, you can pay for class or anything online, but get involved. And to me, that's the message I always give when people say, how much money should I invest? And you say, it's a very hard question to answer, but at least, and that's why we make the minimum investment so small, 100,000, 100 Swiss francs, sorry, or euro. It's because you can get involved, right? Even if it's, it's not going to completely change your life, it still gives you the experience, the journey, that you better understand, because we have this responsibility as well at the personal level. So it's live. You can go on the website. I hope it's very easy to use, but again, the numbers are speaking for themselves. And yeah, enjoy. I think there is already partners here in the room, so I'm very happy to have you today. What's going to happen next is, of course, now we have shareholders, so we are going to explain much more in details. What is the strategy of the company? What do we see in the next 5 years, 3 years? That's the strategical vision. And what do we intend to do in the next semester, in the next quarter, or the next year? That's the tactical decision to get closer to the goal. So as well, part of the experience is how much money you can make by investing, but as well getting all the knowledge, getting access to different content, and being part of the journey. And align as well, what is your value? Do you feel the value align with ours? Do you want to join the revolution? Then it's available. Yeah.
And maybe you just want to talk about the breakdown of the use of proceeds, which is a very common investor question. When we're successful with that fundraise, what will that look like from a capital deployment internally? I know that we've already built 5 of these layers, but we'll be expanding with 2 other layers. But maybe you just want to give us some insight on that, Anthony.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's very important. So actually 60% of the proceeds is going to be reinvested in tech and product. It's been the key of our success. We believe in strong tech product. Most of the other platforms look like each other's because they use white label. They tweak a little bit and they use promotion to attract people. We don't believe in that. Everything that we build is engineered in Switzerland, and we have engineers across the globe with the product team, and we take extra care to make it beautiful but useful as well. So we are going to keep this cap. We believe the others are doing a very good job at buying very extremely expensive piece of ads into stadium and etc. And that's good. That's very good, because in no other industry there is this easiness to transform your asset from one platform to another. So if they don't focus on the product by design, we believe at the end we are going to have the winning strategy, because the product is going to be the strongest in the market. So we're going to keep investing into that direction. And then, yeah, part of the other funds, so 10% is as well allocated to a regulatory side. We believe, especially after what happened this year, there is a strong need for more and more regulation, and we need to keep going with our strategy. That's why we are one of the strongest payment gateway you can find, because we always had this approach of being good with regulators and regulation licenses. And the other part is going to different part of the company, yeah. But essentially the money is here to build the product, to keep building these layers, expanding their ability, offering the best deal to you, the best experiences, and still keep going with the approach of safe, fun, and community-centric.
Awesome. Maybe I'll just open it very quickly to questions. And would you like to ask a question, sir? Come on.
Nice cap.
Hi, you guys. Anyway, I'm Andy. I'm just come down. I'm looking at your board, guys, in front of me, this investment. Now, you look like a green rose stuck between 2 thorns, right? Only because I've lost money on Bitcoin and also lost money on Ethereum in the time, yeah, because of the fees. So when they go flying up again, and all the fake Bitcoin that just come out.
Yeah, so your question is about the fees of the platform, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So part of our, again, is
Did you think we were a charity? Who do you think's paying for the beers?
yeah.
Who is this guy?
No, I think when you look at the offer, so we have different offer. First of all, you can trade for free in Bitcoin, right? If you have sufficient amount of CHSB. When you look at, again, at the spectrum of offer in the market, I know people believe, oh, you're cheaper, you're more expensive than Binance. That's true, but as well, we're cheaper than other bank, for example, in Switzerland. So you always have to understand what's the level of security, regulatory purpose, and etc., and find a compromise between the offer. Because I think more than anything else, coming back to the question Shane asked me, what we learned today, I mean this year, is buying one Bitcoin in the platform is not equal to buying one Bitcoin in another platform. On our platform? No.
No, he was saying in general.
Yeah, in general, I mean...
It all depends on your counterparty, who you're buying from, so you have to pick a counterparty that, especially if you buy Bitcoin, to take it off and put it on your own cold storage as well. And then check the blockchain to make sure it's a valid transaction.
Yeah. I mean, part of the space is there is a lot going on what's going on chain, right? And part of SwissBorg as well, we've been saying, oh, you guys are turtles. It's because we take the time as well to do the due diligence, to build product that we trust in, and not overexpose user to different risk. So what we've seen, for example, in most of the Earn program, the guys were investing, for example, USDC, but they get an exposure to UST because the other guy believe that it's the same asset. People say it's a stable coin, so there is no issue with that. What we've done is we go on chain and we look at the liquidity and we say, but the liquidity on the primary market is not strong. So if anyone pulled out the liquidity from the secondary market, we fucked. So we never cunningly put assets together. So for example, on Bitcoin, every Bitcoin that we have in the platform is not exposed to, I don't know, WBTC or BBTC or additional risk, collateralization risk that you will be exposed. Yeah, it's very complex, but because of what the people are doing. Yeah.
Well, it's actually a couple of questions. Sorry, I said like 5. I wrote it down because I usually forget. Yeah.
Don't take the piss.
Okay. When do you think you'll get the 25 million, or do you close the IPO before that?
Sorry.
When do you think you'll get to 25 million? I mean, ballpark number, or would you close the IPO before that happens?
Before we reach 24 million? So we had a deadline by the end of January 2023, yeah. But cool. But we're confident we are going to reach the cap. Yeah.
Also, a very simple question. When are you going to open in the US? I know a lot of people in the US who are keen to start trading with you, and
I mean, for us, the market we're looking at right now is UE. We have no intention to, for now, to go to the US. But the beauty is now you're shareholders, so you guys will have your saying into this decision. And again, each year we are going to say, to present, that's what we see in the market, that's the opportunity, and you guys can vote. Yeah.
Fair enough. And 2-in-1, when are you going to do website-based, and are you going to allow an API or REST API sort of endpoint to your platform?
Yeah, this question comes a lot. I think when you look at the Launchpad, it's the first attempt to be more web. Now we like the way we've built this system where the transaction and identification services stays on your mobile. There is many reasons why it's better to do this way. So I think we are going to develop more and more web experiences that are not necessarily all dealt from the web, but everything stays on your phone, you authenticate, wallet connect type of things, and then you experience. And for the API REST, it's not really on the agenda for now. Yeah.
Pardon?
It's not really at the agenda. But if your question is because you want to get access to the liquidity and do your own algorithm, we're working on things with that regard.
Okay. No, I'm just asking because, I mean, if I want to hedge, I would just want to put it on a platform that I know is going to try to find the best prices. So, I mean, instead of trying to find the right path myself.
Yeah, the approach for us is more to package the algorithm and give you from the app.
Okay. And the last one, sorry. And how would the last 2 layers look in practice? Because for me, sorry, caveat. I love the platform. I love it all. But they sound like two very buzzy words.
Yeah.
What does it look like? And that's it.
I mean, tokenized assets basically it's not necessarily we want to build everything. We talk with people that are doing that as well, right? And how can we better integrate their services or the technology? Smart mandate, for now, it's very experimental, but the goal is to say, how can we create investment services that are not necessarily in the app, that can be shown in the app, but that will stand, for example, on chain. So for that, we are looking at different directions. So we look at how can we tokenize an investment mandate. What an investment mandate is I come and I say, okay, this is my investment universe, and I would like you guys to manage for me. So you are thematic. They are a passive way to expose to a vision. And investment mandate are for the people that are more sophisticated. They still want us to manage their money, but they have more tailor and design demand.
Like financial advisors.
Exactly. So
when you have a high net worth individual who wants to come and deposit money on the app, they're looking for a service like a private bank where you can customize structured products for them. And so we've had a lot of inbound into that and almost looking for an asset manager, an advisory business. Yeah, so it's maybe it might be a blend of, well, there'll be one or two thematics in there. There'll also be some long-term capital on the launch pad. There might be some earn with a low-risk strategy, and then maybe there might be some liquid strategies and using the smart engine in order to deploy capital. So it's almost like a customized blended mandate for a whale. But thank you. Those 5 questions were excellent. I'm really glad I took them. I've got my last question from this gentleman. I think we're going to wrap it up.
Hi there, what's up guys? My name's Fadlan. I'm the founder of a company called Blockchain Sensei. So we're a multi-Web3 solutions company and a multi-financial literacy company. I've been using your app since 2019. And between me and my co-founders, we've onboarded, a ballpark figure, about 300 users.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. I can show you my personal app as well. I've got 100 signups plus since 2019.
Joseph will get in contact with you.
All right, amazing. So I watched the AMA content in full on YouTube, and it was said that you guys would much prefer a small amount from an individual person than, let's say, from a big VC, right? But what is stopping somebody from a VC fund opening a retail SwissBorg account and then just depositing 25 mil?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Again, I think when we say that, sometimes we do the mistake of generalization too much. And the reality is not because you're VC that you somehow evil and we don't want your money. What we want is people to understand that we have a mission to carry. And it's not going to be only about the business and growth, because what we see in 2022 is business do not know what they're talking about most of the time. They pressure you on how good you can make the Excel sheet looks like. And that's not what we want. We want people that are here for the long term. Since the very beginning, we've been believing in the long-term thesis of investment in crypto. And we want to find these people. And the reality is most of the VC are not ready yet. They see that as, they see you standing beside Revolut and other companies, and they are going to compare yourself. But Revolut didn't make the kind of figures that we are doing. They're still not profitable. I think as well, we leave the end of this dream of saying, I'm going to invest massive amount of money that is standing, the app can stand with so many people, and then I'm going to do an IPO as an exit liquidity. Maybe that's the world we don't want to be associated with. Maybe we want to do that in another fashion. But there is VCs, again, it's just label. There is person in the world that works for VCs, that believe the same. They're just more hard to find. So I think, we need to maybe adapt our dialogue and speech better, because it's not that we are against VC. There is good and bad. And we want to find the people that are ready to go on a journey and a mission with us. because you guys have been doing so much, we've been doing so much, and we're not ready to compromise for a few bucks on this.
This seems like a nice time to maybe wrap it up. Thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank you, Shane.
What you don't realize is that Anthony and I had absolutely nothing prepared for this, and this was all on the fly. So that was a really cool conversation. I'm glad we got so much great stuff out of you. But more importantly, thank you all, your support. Thank you for the referrals. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for taking some of our merch, because I think Joseph didn't want to take it back home with him, so you're helping him out. But more importantly, thanks for being part of our community. And there is a food truck outside, but just before we wrap it up, would it be a crazy idea to try to get some people on stage and we get a big group photograph, considering it's Crispin?
Yeah,
come on, let's get everyone up on stage. Come on, let's get a big group photograph. We're going to put this on our Twitter and on our handle. Anybody who wants to join in, come on, get up. Everybody get up. The food truck is there, so you're going this way anyway. Come on, jump on. Anthony is going to be around for the next 2 hours to answer questions. Come on, get up on stage. Come on, let's go. Okay, who's taking it? Come on, get up. Yes, sir. Come on, let's. Oh, look at this. Great. Come on, get up on stage. Up on stage. Everybody up on stage. Come on, guys, you're going out that way anyway. I don't know who owns that camera, but we got to get rid of it. All right, come on, keep going. Jump up. All the SwissBorg hoodies at the start. Come on, let's go. All right, keep finding space at the back. Come on, everybody. All right, the big lads to the back. Big legs to the back. Okay, you're going to take some pictures. Go back over there. Okay, come on, sir. Come on, get up. Anthony, I can't even see you. Where are you? All right. Anthony, can you come down here?
Shane, how are you?
Get up. Good to see you. Hello, darling. Come here. Come on. Yeah, next to me. Anthony, come on out in front. Okay, come on. I think we got everybody, do we? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Okay. Are we doing it? Okay. Last people in? Okay, let's go. Yeah? Is it a wrap? Okay, let's go. All right. That's a wrap. Food's out here. Thank you so much, guys. Nailed it. All right. Well done.